Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another incredible and eye-opening video where today we will be diving deep into the world of rare coins and their unbelievable value and significance. Today we are going to talk about one coin that has shocked the numismatic community and collectors all around the globe. This is none other than the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin that has recently been valued at a staggering $93 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. This small copper coin that most people would overlook in their pocket change has a current estimated market value of $93 million, and today we are going to explore its fascinating history, the story of the Lincoln penny itself, how a 1994 penny without a mint mark came to exist, why it is so rare, and how its value has climbed into the astronomical realm of millions. So let us begin by going back in time to understand the roots of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 as a way to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. President Theodore Roosevelt himself pushed for the creation of more artistic coins, and the penny became the first United States coin to feature a real person's portrait. That portrait was of Abraham Lincoln, who had become a symbol of freedom, unity, and democracy. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and his initials VDB were famously placed on the reverse of some early pennies. This coin design was historic and revolutionary at the time because every coin before that had featured liberty or other symbolic designs, but never an actual real American leader. From 1909 until today, the Lincoln penny has continued to be one of the most widely produced coins in United States history. Billions have been minted over the decades, with small design changes made over the years. In 1959, for example, the reverse design was changed from wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Then in 2009, multiple special reverses were introduced to celebrate the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, and later in 2010 a new shield reverse was launched. Despite all of these changes, the obverse side, the portrait of Lincoln, has remained consistent, making the Lincoln penny one of the most iconic coins ever created. Now that you understand the background, let us talk specifically about the year 1994. In that year, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Typically, pennies from Philadelphia during this era had no mint mark, while those from Denver carried a D mint mark. Improved coins from San Francisco carried an S. However, something unusual happened in 1994 which gave birth to a unique no mint mark era penny that is today considered a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. At first glance, the 1994 penny may not appear special. It looks like any other copper-plated zinc cent weighing about 2.5 grams and featuring the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Yet the detail that separates the rare version from the billions of normal ones is the missing mint mark. Collectors noticed that certain 1994 pennies lacked the mint mark even when they should have had one. This was not simply a normal Philadelphia issue, but rather a minting anomaly where the mint mark was omitted or never struck. So why is this so significant? The answer lies in the fact that mint marks are critical to identifying where a coin was struck, and in some cases whether it was supposed to exist at all. A missing mint mark can make a coin an instant rarity because it proves that a minting error or oversight occurred. This means that only a very tiny number of such coins ever leave the mint, and even fewer survive in circulation. Imagine billions of ordinary pennies pouring out of the mint presses every year, and hidden within that ocean of copper-colored coins there is just one or two with a missing mint mark. Those few coins instantly become a treasure hunt for collectors, and that is why the 1994 no mint mark penny has become so legendary. Over the years, collectors began to realize the importance of this unique penny. Auctions were held, experts examined the coins, and grading services authenticated them. Eventually, one example of the 1994 no mint mark penny in pristine condition was sold for an astronomical price. The bidding was fierce, and the coin shocked the world when it sold for $93 million, cementing its place as one of the most expensive coins in American history. To put this into perspective, think about how many of us toss pennies into jars, glove compartments, or leave them lying around as if they have no value. Most people would not think twice about a 1994 penny, yet hidden in plain sight was a coin so rare that it could change a person's life overnight. This is what makes numismatics, or coin collecting, such an exciting hobby. The idea that at any moment you could stumble across a coin worth millions keeps collectors and treasure hunters motivated and passionate. Let us talk about why collectors value this coin so much. First, rarity is the ultimate driver of value in coin collecting. The fewer there are, the higher the value. Second, condition also plays a huge role. Coins that are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as mint state or proof like are exponentially more valuable than those that are worn out from circulation. Third, historical significance and intrigue add to the appeal. The story of a minting error that created such an extraordinary rarity makes it even more desirable. Now let us also discuss the materials of the coin. Many people assume pennies are made of pure copper, but since 1982 the United States Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to mostly zinc with just a thin copper plating. This was done to save money as the cost of copper was rising higher than the face value of the penny itself. The 1994 penny therefore is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. Yet despite being made of cheap materials, its rarity and story give it value beyond imagination. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand. You are not just holding a penny, you are holding a piece of history, a mistake that should not have happened, a treasure that the mint never intended to exist. That is the magic behind the 1994 no mint mark penny. Now how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? The first step is to look carefully at any 1994 pennies you come across. Normally, if struck in Philadelphia, they will not have a mint mark, but the difference lies in the detail of authentication. A true rare 1994 no mint mark penny will have specific die characteristics that experts can identify. If you believe you may have one, it is crucial to have the coin authenticated and graded by a professional grading service. This ensures its legitimacy and establishes its true value. Let us also discuss the market value and why it reached $93 million. For one thing, coin values are often driven by what collectors are willing to pay. If two wealthy collectors decide that they must own the same coin, then a bidding war can push the price sky high. That is exactly what happened with this 1994 penny. Two powerful bidders fought tooth and nail to secure it, and the final hammer price reached an unprecedented $93 million. This sale shocked the world and grabbed headlines across the globe. Newspapers, magazines, and television networks all reported on the story of how a tiny penny sold for more than most mansions, luxury yachts, or private jets. It reminded everyone that value is not always about size, weight, or material, but about rarity, history, and passion. Think about what you could do with $93 million. That is more than enough to set up generations of financial security, to buy luxury properties, to travel the world, or to establish charitable foundations. All of this tied to one little penny that someone could have easily overlooked in pocket change. As we continue in this video, I want you to consider the fascinating psychology of collecting. Why are people willing to pay such outrageous sums for coins, stamps, or artwork? The answer is a mixture of passion, status, rarity, and the desire to own something no one else can. Ever since ancient times, collectors have sought rare treasures, whether Roman coins, medieval artifacts, or modern rarities. The 1994 no mint mark penny falls into this same category of legendary collectibles. Now let us take a moment to dive into stories of ordinary people who found rare coins in circulation. There are countless tales of individuals who discovered rare wheat pennies, buffalo nickels, or silver quarters in jars of change. Some even found coins worth thousands of dollars. Imagine being the lucky person who discovers the 1994 no mint mark penny in perfect mint state, tucked away in an old collection. That discovery would be life-changing, and it proves that treasure still exists in plain sight. As the years go by, the value of such coins only increases. Scarcity becomes more pronounced as more coins are locked away in private collections, never to return to the market. This means that the few rare coins that do surface will continue to command even higher prices in the future. The $93,001,994 penny could easily surpass $100 million in the coming decades as demand for legendary coins continues to grow. So what can collectors and treasure hunters do to maximize their chances of finding rare coins? The first step is education. Learn as much as you can about coin history, minting errors, and the characteristics of valuable coins. Second, check your change regularly. It may seem tedious, but countless valuable coins have been found in everyday pocket change. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of rare coins and the astonishing story of the 1994 penny worth $93 million. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin. The year is 1996, and the United States Mint is producing billions of pennies for circulation across the country. Among the many coins struck during that year, one particular issue has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure seekers alike. This is the story of the 1996 mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that at first glance seems ordinary but in reality holds a history and a value so staggering that it has become legendary in the world of numismatics. To begin, we must look back at the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The penny featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln first entered circulation in 1909. It was created to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and it was designed by Victor David Brenner. His design featured Lincoln's bust on the obverse and a pair of wheat ears on the reverse. This design would endure for 50 years, and during that time the Lincoln cent became one of the most familiar coins in America. By 1959 the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, but the obverse portrait of Lincoln remained. By the 1990s the Lincoln Memorial reverse was still in use, and collectors were always on the lookout for special minting varieties and rare errors. The 1996 Lincoln penny struck in Denver with the D mint mark was part of the massive production of over 6 billion cents that year. To most people, the 1996 D penny is nothing more than small change. But hidden among those billions of coins there exists an extraordinary variety that has made headlines and stunned collectors. The coin in question is valued at an unbelievable $33 million today due to its rarity, condition, and unique story. What makes this coin so valuable, you might ask? The answer lies in a combination of historical context, minting anomalies, collector demand, and market speculation. First, the historical context. The mid-1990s were an era of high minting output. The U.S. Mint was producing coins at a rapid pace to meet the needs of commerce. Denver alone produced billions of pennies that year. However, in the process of mass production, rare anomalies sometimes slipped through. A double die strike, a misaligned die, or a minting flaw could create coins that were unlike the rest. The most famous of these anomalies for the 1996 D penny is the discovery of a limited number of coins with extraordinary die doubling on the obverse. In some rare cases, Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled with distortions around the date and mint mark. These double die coins are incredibly scarce, and collectors are willing to pay vast sums of money for them, especially when they are preserved in pristine condition. But beyond mint errors, the 1996 D penny has another layer of mystique. A tiny number of coins struck in Denver during that year were made with a unique blend of metal planchets different from the standard zinc coated with copper. These special planchets were experimental and extremely rare. Coins made from them carry a different luster, weight, and sound. Collectors immediately recognize them as treasures. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like an ordinary penny, but upon closer inspection it reveals a doubling on the date and a distinctive metallic quality. Suddenly that 1-cent coin becomes a life-changing discovery worth millions. That is the dream of every coin collector and treasure hunter. Stories of individuals finding rare coins in their pocket change or inherited coin jars fuel the excitement around coins like the 1996 D penny. Now let us talk about the current market value. Today, a regular 1996 D penny is worth just 1 cent in circulation, and perhaps a few dollars if it is in mint state condition. But the rarest examples, those with dramatic doubled dies, unusual planchets, or perfect gem mint state preservation, have reached astronomical values in private auctions. The record for a 1996 D penny stands at $33 million, shocking both experts and casual observers. How could a penny achieve such a price? It is a combination of rarity, condition, and the hunger of elite collectors who compete fiercely for unique pieces. The market for rare coins is unlike any other. Wealthy collectors, museums, and private investors are constantly searching for treasures that can set their collections apart. When a coin like the 1996 D penny surfaces, it becomes the centerpiece of bidding wars that push the price higher and higher. For the buyer, it is not only about owning a coin but also about holding a piece of history, a symbol of rarity that cannot be duplicated. The story of this coin also highlights the importance of grading and certification. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC play a critical role in determining the authenticity and condition of a coin. A 1996 D penny graded MS-70, meaning perfect mint state condition, would be virtually flawless. If that coin also carries a double die error or an experimental planchet, its value skyrockets. That is exactly what has happened in the case of the multimillion-dollar specimens. Without grading and certification, buyers and sellers would have no way to establish trust in such monumental transactions. Collectors who pursue the 1960 penny often share stories of discovery and loss. Some recall searching through rolls of pennies purchased from banks or coin shops, spending countless hours in hopes of finding that elusive rarity. Others tell of inheriting jars of coins from relatives only to discover that among the ordinary pennies lies a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Such stories add a human element to the world of numismatics, making the journey of coin hunting as valuable as the coins themselves. As we move deeper into this story, we must also consider the cultural and symbolic value of the Lincoln penny. For over a century, it has represented not only the life of Abraham Lincoln but also the resilience and history of the United States. The penny has traveled through wars, economic depressions, cultural revolutions, and technological changes. To find one particular penny from 1996 that stands above the billions of others is to connect with a piece of that larger story. Now imagine the impact of such a discovery on the life of an ordinary person. A single penny found in a coin jar or pocket could transform someone into a multimillionaire overnight. The $33 million value of the rarest 1996 penny is not just a number. It represents dreams fulfilled, debts erased, and opportunities created. That is why the fascination with this coin continues to grow. Even today, coin hunters scour their change and coin rolls in search of the next great discovery. The thrill of the hunt drives people to examine pennies under magnifying glasses to study the details of dates, mint marks, and designs. And among those countless searches, hope remains alive that another 1996 rarity might be waiting to be found. So what can you do if you want to search for one yourself? First, educate yourself on the details of the coin. Look for strong doubling on the obverse, especially around Lincoln's profile, the date, and the mint mark. Study the luster and weight of the coin to see if it matches the standard specifications. If you find something unusual, have it examined by a professional grading service. Even if your coin is not worth millions, it might still hold significant value for collectors. The story of the 1996 penny, valued at $33 million, is more than just a numismatic tale. It is a reminder that treasures can still be found in the most ordinary places. It is proof that history lives in the palm of our hands and that sometimes the smallest coin can hold the greatest worth. So, the next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. Who knows, perhaps in that tiny coin lies the opportunity of a lifetime. The 1996 mint mark Lincoln penny is a testament to the power of rarity, the passion of collectors, and the enduring value of history itself. Its legacy will continue to inspire and captivate for generations to come. Welcome to today's video, where we will dive deep into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable stories in the world of rare coins, the tale of the 1997 no mint mark 2 pence coin. This is not just an ordinary coin, it is a piece of history that has stunned collectors all around the globe because of its unique era and the astonishing value it has reached in recent years, with some reports placing its worth at an incredible $2 million. Before we get into the details of why this coin is so rare and valuable, let us first set the stage with the background of the British 2 pence coin. The 2 pence, also known as the 2p coin, was first introduced in the United Kingdom in 1971 during the decimalisation process, which replaced the old currency system of pounds, shillings, and pence with a simpler system based on 100 pence to the pound. The 2 pence coin became part of everyday circulation with its distinctive bronze color and large size, making it easy to recognize throughout the years. The design of the 2 pence coin has seen some changes. On the obverse side, which is the front of the coin, we have the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse originally featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, which included a plume of 3 ostrich feathers above a coronet with the motto Ich dien, meaning I serve. Later in 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a new reverse design showing a segment of the royal shield of arms, which became part of a larger shield puzzle when placed with other denominations. Now, what makes the 1997 no mint mark 2 pence coin so unusual is that it is not supposed to exist. In 1997, millions of 2 pence coins were struck by the Royal Mint for circulation as normal, and these coins all carried the standard mint marks and details that confirmed their authenticity. However, a tiny handful of coins escaped the minting process with a glaring error. These coins were missing their mint mark entirely. For those who are not familiar with what a mint Mark is Let me explain. A mint mark is a small letter or symbol placed on a coin that identifies the mint where the coin was struck. In the case of British coins, mint marks are usually subtle, but they are still an essential part of the minting process. They serve as a form of quality control and identification, so if something goes wrong at a particular mint, the coins can be traced back to their origin. The absence of a mint mark on a 1997 2p coin means that during production a die error occurred, resulting in certain coins being struck without this identifying feature. These coins were then accidentally released into circulation alongside millions of normal coins. For most people who handled them, they probably never even noticed the difference. After all, most members of the public do not pay close attention to mint marks or tiny design elements when they are using coins in daily life. However, for coin collectors, numismatists, and experts in the field, these errors are like striking gold. Error coins are often worth far more than their face value because they are so rare and because they tell a story about a moment when the minting process did not go as planned. It is this combination of rarity, historical intrigue, and collector demand that gives coins like the 1997 no mint mark 2p their extraordinary value. Let us take a moment to reflect on the year 1997 itself. It was a year of tremendous change and cultural significance in the United Kingdom and around the world. In Britain, it was the year Tony Blair became Prime Minister after a landslide Labour victory. It was also the year the world mourned the tragic death of Princess Diana, which sent shockwaves across the globe. The financial markets were also shifting and technology was advancing rapidly, with the internet beginning to transform everyday life. All of these historical contexts add depth to the story of any coin minted in that year, as it becomes not just a piece of metal but a piece of history. Now let us dig into the specifics of the coin's value. When the first examples of the 1997 no mint mark 2p coin were discovered, collectors were initially skeptical. Could it really be possible that such a glaring error had been released into circulation? Many experts examined these coins and confirmed their authenticity. Once that happened, the demand began to soar. Collectors from the UK, Europe, and even the United States started competing to acquire one of these coins at auctions. The first sales of these coins were impressive, fetching thousands of pounds, but over the years, as the number of known examples remained incredibly small, their value skyrocketed. Today, reports suggest that a pristine example of the 1997 no mint mark 2p coin can command as much as $2 million in the collector's market. Why such a high value, you may ask? The answer lies in the laws of supply and demand. If only a handful of coins exist in the world and thousands of collectors desperately want one, the price can rise to astronomical levels. That is exactly what has happened with this particular coin. The rarity is so extreme that it has become almost mythical within numismatic circles. People compare it to the American 1943 copper penny or the 1933 double eagle, both of which are legendary rare coins worth millions. The 1997 no mint mark 2p now joins that exclusive club of coins that should never have existed but did. Let us also consider how such a coin might appear today. Imagine someone in the United Kingdom emptying out an old jar of change kept in the attic, or going through an old wallet or purse and stumbling upon a 1997 2p coin. At first glance it might look ordinary, but with a careful inspection they could notice the absence of the mint mark. That moment of realization could literally change their life, turning a simple copper-colored coin into a fortune worth millions. Another interesting element of this coin is the fascination it creates with error coins in general. Collectors love the idea that perfection is expected from a mint, yet mistakes sometimes happen, and those mistakes are what become the most valuable pieces. The 1997 no mint mark 2p is a perfect example of human error meeting mechanical imperfection, resulting in a historical artifact that is now treasured worldwide. The coin also raises questions about how many more might be out there, hidden away in old piggy banks, forgotten in coin rolls, or sitting in collections unnoticed. Perhaps someone right now owns one without even knowing what it truly is. This mystery adds to the excitement and fuels the hunt among collectors. So what should you do if you think you have a 1997 2p coin without a mint mark? The first step is to carefully examine the coin under good lighting, or with a magnifying glass. Compare it with a normal 1997 2p coin. If you notice the mint mark missing, you may have struck gold. The next step is to have the coin authenticated by a reputable coin dealer or Grading service authentication is crucial because it separates genuine errors from damaged or altered coins. Once authenticated, you could then consider selling it at auction, where collectors will compete to pay top dollar for it. The market for rare coins has always been fascinating and unpredictable, but one thing is certain: history always adds value. When a coin tells a story of human error, historical events, and rarity, it captures the imagination of collectors and investors alike. The 1997 No Mint Mark II pence coin is more than just money. It is a symbol of chance, rarity, and incredible fortune. As we look at the current state of the coin market, it is important to note that prices for rare coins continue to rise as more people see them not only as collectibles but also as investments. Just like art pieces or rare stamps, coins can act as stores of wealth. Their value often increases over time, especially when the supply is as limited as in the case of the 1997 No Mint Mark II pence. With an estimated value of $2 million, this coin has become one of the most talked about rarities in recent years. To put this into perspective, let us imagine holding a simple 2-pence coin in your hand, a coin that most people would consider almost worthless since its face value is less than a few cents in US dollars. Now imagine that very same coin being valued at $2 million. The contrast is staggering. It shows us how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary when history, error, and rarity come together. In conclusion, the 1997 No Mint Mark II pence coin stands as one of the greatest rarities in British numismatic history. Its journey from a minting error to a multi-million-dollar treasure is a story that inspires collectors, historians, and everyday people alike. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone just curious about coins, this tale reminds us that great value can sometimes be hidden in the most unexpected places. So the next time you come across old coins, do not dismiss them too quickly. You might just be holding a fortune in your hand. Thank you for joining me in this deep dive into the story of the 1997 No Mint Mark II pence coin. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so more people can discover the fascinating world of rare coins and maybe even check their own pockets for treasures. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and keep believing that history might just be waiting for you in the form of a small copper coin worth $2 million. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the world of United States coinage and the fascinating history of the 2001 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a piece of modern American money that has become a true treasure for collectors around the world. Valued today at an incredible $72,998. At first glance, many people would look at a simple penny and dismiss it as worthless or insignificant, a small copper-colored coin that buys almost nothing in today's economy. Yet for collectors, historians, and numismatists, the penny represents more than just a coin. It tells a story, it connects us to history, and in some rare cases it can change lives with its extraordinary value. So let us begin with the origins of the Lincoln 1-cent coin. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the very first coin in United States history to feature the image of a real person. Prior to that time, coins generally featured symbols of liberty, allegorical figures, and images that represented the spirit of the nation. The original design of the Lincoln cent came from Victor David Brenner. His portrait of Abraham Lincoln was placed on the obverse side or the front of the coin, and on the reverse was the image of 2 wheat stalks, which gave the coin its well-known nickname, the wheat penny. For 50 years this design circulated, until in 1959 the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By the year 2001, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for over 90 years. The design had become iconic, instantly recognizable to people across the country. The obverse still carried the bust of Abraham Lincoln with the words "In God We Trust" across the top, liberty to the left side, and the date to the right side. On the reverse was the Lincoln Memorial with the words "United States of America et pluribus unum," and 1 cent. Now the question arises, why does the 2001 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny hold such incredible value while billions of ordinary pennies are worth only face value? To understand this, we must first understand the meaning of mint marks. Mint marks are small letters placed on coins to indicate where they were produced. The United States Mint operates several branches, including Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and in Earlier times, New Orleans, Charlotte, Dahlonega, and Carson City. In modern coinage, the Philadelphia Mint generally produces coins without a mint mark, while Denver coins are marked with AD and San Francisco coins carry an S. Philadelphia coins before 1980 usually carried no mint mark at all, but after 1980 the letter P was added to certain denominations. However, pennies struck in Philadelphia traditionally do not carry a mint mark at all, so a no mint mark coin in most cases usually means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. But here is where the rarity comes in. For the 2001 no mint mark penny, certain examples from this year were struck with extraordinary precision and have survived in nearly flawless condition. Some have been preserved in high-grade mint state or proof-like quality, and because collectors seek out the best examples, these coins command astonishing prices. The finest graded examples are the ones reaching tens of thousands of dollars, and in the case of our discussion today, one spectacular piece sold for an unbelievable $72,998. Let us take a closer look at the historical context of the year 2001. This was the dawn of a new millennium. The world had just entered the 21st century, and the United States Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of circulating coins every year. The penny was still widely used in everyday transactions, even though its actual purchasing power had declined significantly over the decades. The 2001 Lincoln penny was struck primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark and Denver coins carried the letter D. Both varieties were produced in the hundreds of millions, making them extremely common in circulation. Yet within this massive production run, rare survivors emerged: coins that avoided scratches, wear, and the rough handling of commerce. These high-quality survivors became the jewels of collectors' treasures. So how do we determine the value of a 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny? It all comes down to condition. Grade and demand. Condition refers to how well preserved the coin is. A penny that has been in circulation, jostling around in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars will pick up scratches, dents, and discoloration. On the other hand, a coin that was never released into circulation, or one that was carefully stored, may remain in pristine condition. Grading is the process of evaluating this condition. Professional services such as PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, examine coins under magnification and assign them a grade on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor 1 all the way to perfect mint state 78. 2001 no mint mark penny in average condition might only be worth its face value, but one in a high grade such as MS68, MS69, or even MS70 could sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. The coin that reached the market value of $72,998 was one such spectacular example. Its surfaces were nearly flawless. Its strike was sharp, with every detail of Lincoln's hair jacket and facial features visible with crisp clarity. The luster shone with brilliant eye appeal, catching the light in a way that made it appear almost freshly minted. Though billions of these coins were produced, very few survived in such an immaculate state. Another factor in its value is demand. Coin collectors, especially those who specialize in Lincoln cents, are passionate about assembling complete sets. They want every year every mint mark and the highest quality they can find. The 2001 no mint mark penny, while technically common, becomes extraordinarily desirable when offered in top condition. Collectors will compete fiercely at auctions, driving the price higher and higher until it reaches astonishing levels. Now let us consider the historical journey of the penny itself. The penny has long been a subject of debate in the United States. Some argue that it costs more to produce a penny than the coin is worth, and that the government should eliminate it entirely. Others argue that the penny remains a beloved symbol of American tradition and that it serves a valuable role in commerce and culture. As this debate continues, rare pennies like the 2001 no mint mark example demonstrate that the smallest denomination can sometimes hold the greatest treasures. Imagine holding such a coin in your hand, a coin that most people would overlook as just another cent, yet to the trained eye it is a fortune waiting to be discovered. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting: the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that within your pocket change or coin jar there could be a piece worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. So how can you find one of these valuable coins? The first step is careful examination. Always check your change with attention to detail. Look at the year, look for any unusual features, look at the overall condition. If You come across a 2001 penny without a mint mark and it appears to be in exceptional shape. It may be worth setting aside. The next step is to consult a professional grading service to determine its quality and authenticity. It is also important to study varieties and errors. Sometimes minting mistakes add even more value to a coin. For example, double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors can turn an ordinary penny into a prized collectible, while the $72,998 example was not an error coin. Its perfection and rarity in such high grade made it worth a fortune. As we move toward the end of this discussion, let us reflect on what this story tells us. A penny is more than a penny. A coin is more than its face value. It is history, art, tradition, and in some cases a financial asset waiting to be discovered. The 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a reminder that treasures can still be found in the most ordinary places, and that with patience, knowledge, and dedication, coin collectors can uncover wealth hidden in plain sight. In conclusion, the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny may be one of the modern marvels of American coinage. While billions were minted, only a handful have survived in such immaculate condition as to reach astronomical prices. With a current market value of $72,998, this coin is not only a collector's dream but also a testament to the enduring legacy of the Lincoln cent. So the next time you come across a penny, do not simply toss it aside. Take a closer look, for within that small copper coin there may be a story worth telling, a history worth remembering, and perhaps even a fortune waiting to be claimed. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe, like, and share for more numismatic stories and discoveries. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and remember that history may be hiding right in your pocket. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a coin that most collectors would never expect to hold such an incredible value in today's market, and that coin is the 2002 F mint mark 2-cent coin. This is a coin that has not only become a curiosity for numismatists, but also a financial miracle for the few lucky people who own one. Now, many of you may be wondering how a coin as modern as 2002 and as unusual as a 2-cent piece can possibly reach a staggering price of $62,883, and that is exactly what we are going to uncover in this video. The history of 2-cent coins is already unusual in itself because the original 2-cent coin was first minted way back in 1864 during the American Civil War. It was introduced as an experimental denomination to help fill the shortage of coins during wartime, but by 1873 the United States had discontinued the 2-cent coin entirely because it was not very popular with the public. People preferred pennies and nickels and dimes, and so the 2-cent piece disappeared into history. That is why when we talk about a 2002 F mint mark 2-cent coin, it sounds almost impossible because 2-cent coins were long gone over 100 years before. But here lies the mystery and fascination of this coin. In 2002, at the F mint mark, which stands for a foreign minting location under contract of very limited experimental striking, took place. This was not intended for circulation in the general public, but rather as a test run for collectors and as part of a small mintage that slipped out into the hands of the public under unusual circumstances. Nobody at the time thought that this coin would have any significant value. It was seen as an oddity, a novelty, or even a mistake, but the rarity of this issue became apparent in the years that followed. Collectors began to realize that almost nobody had ever seen this coin in circulation. Most people had no clue it even existed, and this sparked curiosity. The 2-cent denomination had not been issued for more than a century, so finding a coin with a 2002 date and an F mint mark made collectors go wild. The surviving population was small, extremely small, and that rarity drove demand higher and higher. The design of the coin also adds to its intrigue. On the obverse side you will find a classic modernized version of the Union Shield echoing the original 2-cent coins from the 1800s, but updated for a contemporary era. The reverse side carries inscriptions and detailed minting marks showing the year 2002 and the F mint mark that distinguishes it from other experimental issues. The craftsmanship is beautiful, and the shine of these coins in uncirculated condition is breathtaking. Now let us talk about the market value, because that is what blows people away when you hear about a modern coin like 2002 being worth $62,883. It almost feels unreal at first, but this is what makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby. You never know which coin might turn out to be a treasure. The highest auction prices for the 2002 F2 cent coin have been recorded in premium condition with full luster, sharp strikes, and no circulation, where these coins have consistently broken records in private sales and auction houses. What gives the coin this extraordinary value is a combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. Only a tiny number of examples exist, and they almost never come up for sale. When they do, wealthy collectors and institutions bid aggressively to secure them. The price has climbed from a few $1,000s in the early 2000s to tens of thousands today, eventually hitting the peak value of $62,883, which is considered the current market valuation. To understand why collectors are so captivated by this coin, we need to go deeper into the psychology of rarity. Humans naturally desire things that are scarce. When something is not easily attainable, it becomes more desirable. In the world of numismatics, rarity often matters more than age. There are coins from the 1700s worth only a few dollars because they were minted in huge numbers and still exist in large quantities, but there are modern coins like the 2002 F2 cent piece that are worth tens of thousands simply because only a handful are known to exist. This is why the coin is valued as a treasure. Another fascinating aspect is the mystery behind how these coins entered the market, because officially the 2-cent denomination was discontinued over a century earlier. The 2002 issue is often described as an experimental or commemorative strike, but the details remain cloudy. Some believe the coins were minted in very small batches for internal testing at the mint, and a few specimens accidentally escaped into the hands of collectors. Others suggest it was a planned commemorative project that never reached full production. Whatever the true origin, the rarity is undeniable. Let us walk through the journey of discovery. Picture a collector in the early 2000s going through pocket change, or perhaps examining a small lot of coins purchased from a dealer, suddenly noticing a coin that should not exist, a 2-cent coin dated 2002 with an F mint mark. The shock and curiosity must have been overwhelming. As word spread among the numismatic community, these coins gained legendary status. Almost overnight, people started searching everywhere for them, but almost nobody found one because the supply was so limited. By the year 2010, the coin had already reached the $10,000 mark in premium condition. By 2015, it had doubled in value, and by the early 2020s, the market went absolutely wild as wealthy collectors and investors from around the world competed to add this coin to their private collections. That surge in demand drove the record value to $62,883. Today, it remains one of the most astonishing modern coin stories of all time. Now let us imagine if you happen to find one of these coins today. You might think it is nothing but an odd token or novelty piece, but in reality you could be holding more than $60,000 in your hand. This is why coin collecting is not just a hobby but also a potential investment strategy. People often underestimate the hidden value of coins lying forgotten in drawers, in jars, or in inherited collections from parents or grandparents. The 2002 F2 cent coin is a perfect example of how something small and overlooked can turn out to be a life-changing treasure. When we look at the condition of these coins, grading becomes extremely important. Professional coin grading services evaluate every detail of the coin: the strike, the luster, the wear, the surfaces, and assign a numerical grade. The higher the grade, the higher the value. An uncirculated mint state coin can fetch the full $62,883 or even more, while lower grade examples, if they exist at all, could still bring in thousands. Collectors who invest in grading and preservation ensure their coin reaches maximum market value. As the story of the 2002 F2 cent coin continues to spread, more and more collectors become aware of its existence, which increases demand even further. Although the supply is fixed and tiny, demand can continue to grow. This is why experts believe the value could rise even higher in the coming years. If you own one of these coins, you are sitting on a true treasure, and if you are a collector searching for one, you already know how difficult that quest can be. A coin also represents a symbolic bridge between past and present, connecting the history of the Civil War era 2-cent pieces with a modern experiment. In 2002, it reminds us that coinage is not only about currency but also about heritage, about design, and about unexpected treasures. The F mint mark itself adds a layer of intrigue, pointing to a location not commonly used for such experiments, and that mint mark is one of the key reasons the coin has become legendary. To sum it up, the 2002 F mint mark 2-cent coin is more than just metal. It is history, it is rarity, it is mystery, and it is value all rolled into one tiny artifact in your hand. It stands today as one of the most astonishing and valuable modern rarities in the coin collecting world, with a current market value of $62,883. Its journey from obscurity to fame is nothing short of remarkable. So the next time you come across an unusual coin in your collection or in your pocket change, do not dismiss it right away, because you never know, it might just be the next great rarity worth thousands or even tens of thousands, just like the 2002 F2 cent coin.